A perfect time to bring in David Bahnsen. He's not been around as long as I have, but he knows the markets quite well. It's a different market today, isn't it, compared to 86 or 76?
This is true. I turned 50 years old last year. You're celebrating 50 years on air, and I was impressed that there were decimals you were doing in 86, because I even remember the fractions,
That's right.
how we used to quote things. Very, very different markets, but some stuff has stayed the same. Markets remain unpredictable.
I just hope we don't go back to the 1970s for all kinds of reasons. But in the 1970s, stocks were dead flat for a decade. You couldn't make serious money in stock. Maybe you did, because you weren't doing it investing in those days. You could do it in dividends, but you couldn't do it with capital gains.
But one good thing about the 1970s is it then ended with us getting Ronald Reagan coming into office and started this incredible period of optimism in the country. We need more optimism in America today, and that's optimism, Stuart, that you bring on air every day.
Oh, thank you very much indeed.
Yes,
but do you get the same sense of optimism that Trump is back in the White House?
It's different because Trump had really got elected off of saying that we needed to make America great again, that there are a lot of things broken in America. And I would like to see more optimism and more of this positive spirit. Sometimes there's a lot of negativity around it. There's a lot of great things that he's doing, but, it's very early into this new term.
Look at that, 1975. 875 was the close in 1975 in June 2775. Good Lord, my time's changed. David, stay with me for the hour if you'll do me the favor.
The market today, 6% shy of $4 trillion for NVIDIA today, 10 points away from record highs for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. That is because of the trade deals.
This is fascinating stuff. There's some great numbers there. NVIDIA's worth nearly $4 trillion now?
Yeah.
Nearly $4 trillion?
It'll be the first ever $4 trillion company.
So if the stock goes up 7% a year for 10 years, 7%, it'll be $8 trillion.
Okay.
Think about that math.
I didn't know we had to do math on
and
this
you
program.
thought the
didn't have to do
numbers
it. I
for
did it for you.
1975 to now
After
were
50
a lot.
years, no one's going to make you do math. I'm here to help.
One of the largest owners and operators of high-powered Bitcoin mining and harvesting in North America.
Okay. You wouldn't touch CoreWeave with the 10-foot pole.
Well, I
No
love them
interest.
using that stock price to do a deal like this. If you're going to be trading at negative 80 times earnings at a $160 stock price, use your stock price as a currency to buy anything you can.
Yeah, why not? The stock doesn't seem to get above $200 very easily, does it? Yeah. Any opinion, David?
Well, again, the issue for Apple is valuation. It's such a high price. It's trading at a higher multiple that it's just harder with those big numbers to move the needle.
David's got his usual stock picks, and he's going with General Mills. What's the big deal about dividends there?
The thing we love about General Mills is that it has gotten beaten up this year so much. The dividend is now 4.7%. They raised it a tiny bit this week. Really struggling. Their pet food business is recovered and is doing very well. But just to innovate with snacks right now is tough. Margins have been compressed. They're spending more on advertising. So as a value investor, 13 times earnings. 4.7 dividend yield. This is a place you really want to be at.
Yeah, good case. You've done this before. Blue Owl Capital.
Again, you have one of these financial companies that's down on the year, so we're trying to put a couple up today, Stuart, that are more value-oriented. Gotten a lot cheaper. You have about a 4.5, 4.6% dividend yield, and they are heavily engaged in private credit. Banks are doing less corporate lending. Asset managers like, Blackstone and Apollo. Blue Owl is one of these. Down here on Park Avenue in New York, we know the company very well. Blue Owl is a great buy here.
We'll take it. David, thank you very much. No.
You would never put a personal finance segment on taxes on the show.
Certainly not.
The things you learn over the course of half a century on air.
Certainly not from my living room. What bore people.
That was your living room in New Jersey?
It was, yes, way back when. I was in Wyckoff, New Jersey. We brought the cameras out, and I stood in the kitchen, and we went through doing a tax return.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to have seen your tax return from back then. I bet the tax return has evolved over the years.
Yeah, it was different. You're surprised that I'm still here, aren't you?
I'm not, and I'll say this very seriously. I've been on air with you now for many years. I just want to say I do hold you in very high regard. Anyone who's still doing this after 50 years, I admire it. I love it. I respect it. I hope to manage money for over 50 years. You've been a legend in this business. I think the world of you, my friend. Even though I tease you on air, I really do appreciate you very much.
But how could you walk away from a job like this?
I don't know
You're
how.
The center of the action, and what you say counts. You can't beat that stuff.
It's not work when you love it as much as you do.